Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the NERDWatch podcast. I, of course, am G Money. It's 7:45 in the evening on a Tuesday evening, June 8th, 2021. And I am your host for the NERDWatch podcast. I, of course, give you all the news, all the pop culture goings on with a bunch of people that I know. So before we get started, let me introduce the crew. Joining us this evening, this man, he is the producer, seducer. You ask anyone in Maui County, and he'll tell you, they'll tell you how seductive he actually is. He also told me that he has a rocket penis today. He told me that in person. I don't know why he said that to me, but listen, ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Cobra Kai.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to point out that anything G says does not represent me or any other members of the podcast.
You said that to me today. Don't even.
I don't know what Matt's talking about. That's what you get for being crazy, fool.
So is your rocket penis more of like a SpaceX deal, or is it like a Blue Envy, Blue Destiny kind of thing?
No, if we were going to talk about that, then I would say it's more of a Russian experiment kind of thing, like a Sputnik.
Okay. Like a Sputnik.
Sputnik. That's fair. All right, that's fair. Also joining us this evening, speaking of rockets, he is our man in black. He deals with space, the space and time of magic. He lets birds disappear and cards reveal themselves on a nightly basis in his house. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to our man in black and the gaming guru. It's Phormat. I'll unmute him. Don't worry. He's right there.
Hey, everybody.
Man,
rocket penis, huh? Nice.
That's what he told me today. Hey, listen, we were sitting in the
car.
To
the
moon, baby.
If that's the case, I'm shooting farther than that. I'm going
rocket penis to the moon, right?
It's big and round.
I don't know why you told me that today. It was the weirdest thing ever. Thank God Gannon's not here. Anyway, also joining us this evening.
He probably would be, but we're hella early, so
that is actually kind of true. Also joining us this evening, let me introduce this next gentleman. I think you might know him.
Do we?
He is the comic book artist extraordinaire. He is the creator of Disco Thunder Groovebone, The Milkman Always Delivers, and Mohawk Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
You can also peruse his perennial work called The Cocoon Project about Hawaiian astronauts. He is our Hawaiian Salted Superman. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Todd Bernardi.
Woo!
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yay. I can't wait for you to start talking about your wife.
Hey,
she knows about rockets, Todd?
Listen, I hate to do this. Let's see if we can trigger his wife. Vaccines.
Oh, man.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm not going to do that.
Wait, Todd's not even at home.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Todd Bernardi, of course, is trying to get his latest comic book.
She watches the show, though.
Oh, she does watch the show.
No, that's true.
Dang gummit, she's going to be very mad at me. Anyway, I want to send a big shout out, of course, to Drew, who's in the chat, and Murphy, who's in the chat as well. Murphy wants to know, Kai, does NASA know about your rocket penis?
Again, Russia, Sputnik.
Murphy, if Kai's penis was a rocket, it would probably be the Challenger. It's a total disaster.
Hey,
damn.
Wow.
Hey, Todd.
Wow, he went there.
Todd.
Well, while we're on the subject, I just want to say happy birthday to Murphy because it was his birthday recently.
Happy birthday to Murphy. Happy birthday to Murphy. Nice to have you on board during your birthday. Hey, listen, I can't sing the other song, so I can, but I might get in trouble. I might get deleted.
I thought that's public domain now. Finally, after 2000 years.
Public domain.
Is it really? Is it really?
Yeah.
Shall I try? Let me try.
I think
all of their natural heirs died, so the spell has been broken.
All right, well, let's try this.
I don't think it really matters. No matter what you sing, Warner Brothers is going to flag us for content.
That's true.
Happy birthday to you.
You can find
Happy
a lot.
birthday, dear Murphy.
This is real loungy.
Boo.
Happy birthday.
I wish I had a martini.
This is the worst Richard Cheese impression
All right.
I've ever heard.
You
right,
sound like a frog from a Warner Brothers cartoon.
All you need now is a top hat and a stick.
Yeah, hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Hold on.
Hello, my
calm down.
ragtime gal.
That one we might get a copyright.
All right. Anyway, before we get started,
Are you gonna play it on the Ritz, Greg? Are you gonna?
Kaleo, that's not going to happen. I'm not singing that song. You're out of your mind. Anyway,
I didn't know there was a theme song to Two Girls, One Cup.
There is, and I wrote it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, he is the chairman of the comic book board.
Oh,
he is the
yeah.
godfather of comic books. He is the sinister minister of Maui Comic-Con.
Look how invested he is.
Proclaimed comic master. He is freaky. He is deaky. He is definitely leaky, and his bevities are quite streaky. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Alika. It's Dr. Freaky, Daddy Leaky. Yay! He's here. All right. Anyway,
I hate your intros, man.
my intros are fantastic. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. By the way, you know what's interesting?
It's the same one every time.
Speaking of getting flagged, what's interesting is that I don't know if I shared this with you guys. I think you guys already know that Universal Pictures have been putting markers on our program because we comment on the trailers, or we're commenting over their trailers. It's happened for the last couple of weeks. It's interesting. So
what does that mean?
That doesn't mean anything. I guess they're putting markers.
Is there going to be some kind of lawsuit
No.
coming our way now?
They send executives out to pee on our podcast.
Oh, man. I can't wait.
I'm sure there'll be a cease and desist order coming soon. So just be prepared.
Sweet.
But anyway, before we get
You're
started.
great at ceasing and desisting.
Let's see if we can milk them for something.
Before we get started with today's show, it is time to check in with the guy who ditched us last week. It is time to find out every single Wednesday.
Tell him what you told him earlier.
New Comic Book Wednesday. So it is time to get your comic books. And just to let you know, I'm going to ruin the surprise. Alika at Maui Comics has stocked up on Batman Fortnite. Okay? Just want to let everybody know that. He's stacking up after several freaking weeks. Finally, God. Anyway, before we get started, let's check in with Alika, who decided to go watch a movie with his kids instead of doing this podcast. Let's find out what's new this week in the world of the.
Way to put your family first.
Yeah.
I wonder what movie he watched.
What a selfish.
Point of order, Greg. Isn't this how we start the show instead of before we get started?
Yeah, that's true.
How about let's get started?
Todd, I was going to comment on how incredibly rude that Greg somehow relegated me and my comic list to being a pre-show thing. I'm pretty sure this is the show, buddy, guy, pal.
Before we get into the show, let's do the comics list tailgate.
No, it's okay. You know what? I'm even more sad that Todd's sticking up for me. Let's just move on. I don't like it.
That's fair.
Don't worry, buddy. I've got your back.
All right.
Oh God, this is getting weird.
Todd, I'm gonna need you to get away from the behind of me area. No, I'm not. I don't feel too
I think Murphy said it best. You've just been thrown under the bus. Oh, and before you start, Alika,
does the NERDWatch have HR?
Yeah, we do.
I am the HR.
He's the HR.
Before we get into the list, before I forget, you guys can watch us.
Either way.
You guys that are watching the show or listening to the program, you guys can follow us on Facebook.com/NerdWatch, on YouTube at NerdWatch Nation, and on Twitch at NerdWatch808. You can comment live on the show on any one of those three platforms while we simulcast, and of course, we will get them and we'll comment on your comments and questions. So let's get right into it, shall we?
We will read all 2 comments from across 13 different platforms.
That's right, absolutely, 100%. Anyway,
Power of
Alika,
technology.
What's
Way
happening,
to
yo?
yourself in, homie.
What kind of funky new comics are there this week?
All right, so
you swear
these comics are going to be a day late because of airplane problems apparently, so we're getting the comics on Thursday. So just pipe down, everybody. They're coming. We're getting last week's comics as well as the list I'm about to read is this week's comics, starting with Amazing Spider-Man number 68.
Almost there.
One more.
I'm so excited.
Todd
Almost
is
there.
I just realized what you said. and number 12 by Eric Larson. That's Todd.
Oh yeah, there we go.
He's so excited for that book.
Can't wait.
Ant number 12, the much waited for Ant's book series.
Why did that sound very facetious?
It's so weird. Like, he's made this book like over a decade ago, and he's like, it was an 11-issue run, and he's just now putting out issue 12. Like, I gotta do this for the fans, y'all.
Yeah,
you know why? Because Todd respects the hustle.
Bro, it's an audience of one with that book. Todd is like cheering from the stands.
Yeah.
So hard.
But it's not what it was. I mean, the first 11 issues weren't done by Eric Larson. The guy that did it sold it to Eric Larson, and then Eric Larson's going to take over the series.
Cool.
So,
all right.
Neato.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All I heard was comic nerd stuff.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
The Archie 80th anniversary, Everything Archie number 1. The Dan Parent cover is all I'm getting. So yeah.
Can I ask you something? Has Archie?
No, please.
In these recent books, has Archie ever gotten with any of the ladies?
Yeah, he gets with like both of them regularly, and Christian Society is pretty cool with it. It's kind of weird.
Really?
Interesting.
And Jughead kind of just watches while he eats burgers and stuff. Kind of weird.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think Reggie's got some kind of head trauma, but you know.
Wow. Listen, Kirsten is also in the chat tonight and wants to know why Todd is in a Marvel Facebook group. I don't know. Todd, you want to answer that question?
It's called I freaking love Marvel comics, and I'm in it because I used to be kind of a commentator on the I freaking love comics podcast, and so they to appease all of their fans, they've like split all the different like subgenres and publishers apart. So there's DC, and then there's Marvel, and there's
Todd. Is that the podcast that respects you?
I'm more than the NERDWatch. I mean, it's hard to be more disrespected than the NERDWatch.
I work really hard to disrespect you, Todd. I don't like to be outdone.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you know your place. That's all. I was just making sure in the hierarchy.
Know your place.
Wow.
I'm glad that Kirsten has outed me as a casual Marvel fan.
Yeah, you have. I hope you eviscerate everybody in that I freaking love Marvel Comics Facebook group. By the way, I do go.
I have gone a little too heavy on this
Marvel stuff there lately. You go. Sweet. I can't wait to get kicked out. Also, Murphy does bring up a good point. Cuckold Jughead. Yeah.
That's his historic role in the Archie family.
Well, when he's cuckold Jughead, at least he has a place to hang his crown. So that's cool.
Kind of his thing, yeah. I mean.
Wow.
He just likes burgers.
I don't like talking about any of this with you, Greg.
I don't even know why. Kirsten said that she's a whistleblower. I completely 100% agree with that. Todd's been outed. Sweet.
I'm not. Well,
can I read the rest of the comic list? Hey,
yes,
Todd, do you like comics?
Yes. Yeah, Todd, shut up.
Tell me about it.
Okay. Geiger, number 3. That's an image book that Todd also seems to enjoy. It's
I haven't read it yet though.
Wait, is it Geiger or is it H.R. Giger's work? Is that what this is?
No, it's not H.R. Giger's work, but it gets out of nowhere for no reason.
All right. Hey, listen. Spell the same.
You're just like doing word association. It's kind of
annoying.
You have head trauma?
Like cuckold Jughead? Got it.
Yeah, like cuckold Jughead. Good Asian, number 2 of 9.
Are there any other kind of Asians, Alika?
There's some so Asians out
All
there.
right. That's fair.
I'm kind of a so Asian.
No.
No, no,
What?
Todd.
How?
No.
Ah,
You're already appropriating Polynesian
that's like,
culture.
that's
So
like
hold,
some appropriation, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be
sure.
a part of that.
hold your rickshaw, bro. All right.
Oh, no.
Oh.
No?
Stop.
Shoot.
Greg, you also turn your mic onto mute, please.
All right.
Thanks.
I'm muting it right now.
Thank you. Heroes Reborn, number 6 of 7. The reboot of the Liefeld hit series
Wow.
from 20 years ago. Actually, the writing's been really good. People have been actually reviewing Heroes Reborn very well. But it's probably going to end on a pretty mediocre note. Spoilers. Heroes Reborn, Night Gwen, number 1. Night Gwen.
What the hell's that?
That's another cross character featuring a character that was dead for nearly 5 decades
I
until
was
they
just
brought
about
her
to
back
say.
and turned her into first of Spider-Gwen. Yeah, that was the first one. Then there was Gwenpool. Everybody knows and loves Gwenpool. She's a hit, right?
Oh my gosh.
And now it's Night Gwen. Night Gwen number 1. And
Like what? Like what is she?
That's a cross between Gwen Stacy. I think that part is clear. And I think Nighthawk.
What?
No,
You sure?
I was gonna go with Nightmare. No, I was way off.
I'm assuming
Whoa.
these Gwen books must be incredibly popular for them to keep doing this.
Yeah, I mean, they
All right.
yes. Anytime Marvel exploits their fans, it's wildly popular. Just ask Todd.
I was gonna say next time I have a nightmare, I'm gonna call it a Night Gwen.
Heroes. Another Heroes Reborn book. Heroes Reborn Squadron Savage. It's
Ooh.
a Savage Squadron, I assume.
I just like the
Squadron
double X.
Supreme and some
Squadron
Savage
Yeah.
Savage Lands action, maybe.
I know you're going through your list, Alika, but Kirsten in the
That's what I'm
chat
doing.
does have
I'm
a
doing it
question.
right now as you're
She does have
interrupting me.
She has a question. Alika, are you going to carry Riot's book? Riot,
What a
of course,
way to put
being-
me on the spot, Kirsten.
I'm
Obviously,
sorry.
I will be, but thanks for talking biz, y'all.
You have to throw it out there.
Yeah, no,
During the
obviously,
comic book list.
I don't know how much promo material is. I know she just had a book release party. Kirsten was working on with Riot, and they just had at a middle school. I think they sent the flyer out, but obviously we're in Maui, we can't attend. But the book is going to be released pretty soon. Riot's new book. I think that promo video is available to view. If you guys look at it, I think the Masters of the Obvious page or the Tiny Bangs page will have information on that. But yeah, obviously we're going to carry that book. So, why would you even ask? That's just come on now. All right. Come on, G. Come on.
Kirsten says it's this Sunday.
Oh, the release party's this Sunday. Awesome. Yeah, I saw there was a promo video that was sent out, and the book looks incredible. So high quality, nice stock, hardcover. So definitely have a look out for it. At least at our shop. Not sure anywhere else on Maui. Maybe it's an exclusive. I don't know.
Could be.
All right.
All right. What else?
Carmen, number 4 or 5. That's another Image book with Gilla March. Incredible art. Been loving the art on that series.
Nice.
Let's see. Secret Land, number 1 of 4. That's a Dark Horse book. 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton, number 1, which is an Image book.
That sounds exciting.
What
Yeah,
the hell
I
is
don't know.
that?
When you put a lot of words in a row and they don't normally appear together, that's a good Image book right there.
Mm.
Let's Strange Academy, number 11. Everybody loves Strange Academy, which is like Doctor Strange's X-Men kind of.
Oh, it's a Marvel book, and not everybody, because Todd hates it.
Yeah, I'll be getting my Tankers number 2 copies in tomorrow, finally, for all you Bad Idea comic fans.
Nice.
We also got a little bit discussion on Bad Idea. I don't know if you guys have seen any of it, but Bad Idea Comics kind of announced they're ending at the end of the year.
What?
They kind of dropped a bomb on the comic community. Yeah. Yeah.
That was quick.
All right, can we talk about that after your list is
Yeah,
done?
yeah.
'Cause that's
There's
kinda
actually a
interesting.
pretty big announcement about it. So
Before
I made
you
it
start on the list again, can we check to see what Kirsten has to say?
I think let's check if she wants to invoice me directly through the chat right now.
Yeah, we're gonna invoice you in the group chat for these books.
Okay, so we've got tankers. That's the bad idea stuff. We got some bad idea stuff to talk about after the list. There's a couple more books before that, though. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ongoing, issue 117. Nice. It's always good stuff. And Web of Spider-Man number 1 of 5. Oh, okay. So somebody was asking about that the other day. Yep, that's coming out tomorrow.
Oh,
and
Web of. I totally heard that as Web of Spider-Man. I was like, Spider Eggs? I don't understand what. Huevos Spider-Man.
Eggs. Spider-Man with eggs.
Wow.
Bingo.
Makes sense now.
And X-Men number 21, which is Hellfire Gala tie-in, which features all of the X-Men thirst traps. I love that art. I think so I'm kind of into that.
I am getting
do that kind of stuff.
I'm finally getting associated with that word, that quote, thirst trap. So
you fall into thirst traps nonstop, man. It's like your entire friends list is like 90% bots.
They can't help it. They can't help it. I understand. I'm understanding what that means now. So I mean, it makes an old guy feel good.
You're responsible for so many false profiles. You're like you could register as a Bitcoin mine. How much data you're pumping through your fucking?
Whoa, easy.
Hey, what? I didn't say.
Whoa, easy, pal.
I didn't say even what you heard I said. I didn't say.
Okay, fair enough. Is that it for the comic book list?
That's the comic book list.
Ladies and gentlemen, that, of course, is your comic book list. You can get your comics every single Wednesday or Thursday at Maui Comics and Collectibles right in the heart of Wailuku Town at Request Music. Just ask for Alika, and he'll have the books that you need. Now, Alika. Big news, if you can announce it. Kirsten was in the chat talking about there was a follow-up statement as well. So here's the question, Alika. I'm going to put it up in the chat or right up here on the podcast. Was bad idea a bad idea?
No, not at all. And the thing is, it's like a program to build hype for 200 lucky comic stores. What bad idea? And I know people are like, but I want to read it. You can read it. You can get these books. You can call up any of these stores. They can send you most copies are still in print of first printings, and Walesville and ENIAC 1 both have not first printings available to order in mass as much as you want forever. So they're always available. All you have to do is call one of these comic stores and give them your business. People are like, unless it comes to me from Amazon by me just consciously thinking of, and not having to lift a finger or help a local business, then it's not a good comic. No, they're great comics. You want to read them. You're going to want to get in touch with a comic store and get some. And I love that Bad Idea has accomplished their stated goal was to help comic stores. That was the one thing. And I'm sure they didn't realize the pandemic was going to happen unless they did. But their but their timing in building hype and bringing new customers to my comic store could not have been better in bringing my comic store back, helping me have some kind of comeback after this terrible year where we had to be closed down. Diamond had this big cheerleading effort. It was called Back the Comeback, or our comeback will be bigger than our setback. They were saying it, but they didn't do crap. They fell apart. Their monopoly, when they could have saved the comic industry with their monopoly, it just slipped out of their hands, and everybody's here is like, boo-hooing over the crumbling of Diamond. It's like it had to happen because they were not helping anybody but themselves. They were not helping the industry, and they're just dealing with Diamond now. Right. Those comeback stickers, they still send them out, and they're still on promotional stuff. Like to try to motivate comic stores, and it's just so ironic coming from Diamond. Is like, you are probably a very large part of why it's so difficult to run a comic store during our supposed comeback time. And so back on topic of Bad Idea, they boosted my business in a way that nothing else that Diamond or any other company has done yet. They are the number one, eclipsing the next 5 combined titles. They are the number 1 subscribed comic book in my store. They've brought more business to me than anything else. And the majority of people who shop for Bad Idea Comics buy other things aside from Bad Idea Comics.
Right.
So before everybody has their armchair quarterback, I couldn't get a comic because it's not right down the street for me, and I'm too lazy to pick up the phone and call a Bad Idea destination store, or even just go online. They have online presences. You can order from Midtown Comics. They're a Bad Idea store.
I have two things for you to answer. Number one, seems like a very unfair business practice for Bad Idea not to involve Jeff Bezos. Number one. Number two.
Oh, great.
The thing is, they're trying to silence him.
Oh, well, that's not right. That's not right at all. Anyway, Alika, what we understood, this show has been very supportive of Bad Idea and what they were trying to accomplish with comic book stores. So what exactly was the announcement today?
So the big announcement is that after the first wave of Bad Idea books, which includes the complete series of Tankers, issue 1 and 2, ENIAC, issue 1, 2, 3, and 4, Sleigh Bells, and The Lot, which is a horror anthology coming up. After those, and Whalesville, which is a one-shot, all those books are the first wave of Bad Idea, which everybody's subscribed to, and a couple more books to come out in the next month or so. But beyond that, they're announcing what's called the Final 5. So they're announcing 5 titles that'll be 15 comics total. And they're not announcing creative teams, titles, descriptions, or anything. And the Final 5 will be the last wave of Bad Idea books, the last 15 comics that they release. And what they're telling people to do is this June 16th to go down to any Bad Idea destination store, mine included, and they're going to send us 10 stickers. The first 10 people to sub blindly to all 15 of those comics, it's called the Final 5 Blind Sub Contest. The first 10 people will get one of these stickers. These stickers will entitle you to get an additional copy of one of the comics that are coming out in this Final 5. And since we don't know what any of those are, they gave us a cryptic message and said that we'll just have to trust them that this is a good thing and that you're really going to want it, which I would trust because every comic that Bad Idea has put out is worth almost 10 times cover price already. It's like this for subscribers who got in on the first wave, who had the foresight to jump on board and be all in with Bad Idea, is they were rewarded massively. Their comics, not only are they fun to read and great quality comics, but they're also worth more than they were when they bought them. And that's true of every single comic from them. And it's going to be true because they're going away at the end of the year. Now, what Kirsten's alluding to is, you know, these guys are humans. They showed their hand many times. They're not top secret or anything. They're just really good at building hype. So this announcement, a lot of people speculated, is not really the true end of Bad Idea Comics.
Okay.
It's probably going to usher in some kind of rebranding or something, and probably different policies than Bad Idea Comics currently has, which is fine. I'm 100% in. I want more people to be able to get Bad Idea Comics or whatever the creative team behind Bad Idea Comics decides to evolve their name into after this period. But I wrote
this is not an end.
So much.
So this is not the end, is what
they're saying. They're playing it as if it's the end, and it's probably the end of Bad Idea Comics. They'll probably end the publishing imprint and stop printing as Bad Idea Comics, but it's going to become something else. You know, they didn't do this for nothing. So they're just building towards they're just rolling the hype train forward. And what they did with this little company, yeah, exactly. End of Bad Idea as you know it. That was their announcement. They used that as you know it. So everybody kind of latched onto that, which is true. It's going to be as we know it. But these guys, in this 1 year with Bad Idea Comics, with almost like they had like the talent and almost nothing else but a social media presence, they are one of the top selling comics consistently, aside from the big two, which rarely gets broken into by any other book except for, you know, maybe some image books or whatever. But Bad Idea Comics put themselves up there in their first year, in their only year, and they ranked with every release. That, I mean, people are not realizing what they did with how little. Like they did this like massive pole vault that was a gigantic feat, and everybody's just poo-pooing on them because they have discrepancies with the way they did it or how they got there, or some minor thing about their experience. But, you know, if you want a Bad Idea comic, call my store. I'll hook you up. People were calling me after ENIAC 1 had already hit $300 on eBay, and I still had a couple copies to secure some subscribers. So people called me up, subscribed, and they got a first printing of ENIAC 1 for cover price, because that's what Bad Idea Comics tells their retailers to do. And actually, long before Bad Idea Comics, that was Maui Comics and Collectibles policy, to never sell a new comic for more than cover price. So that's why we're like, we love Bad Idea, because their policies kind of match what we believe a comic store should be doing anyways. So yeah, right. all I can say is it's awesome.
Murphy in the chat says conspiracy, Bad Idea created the pandemic. Now I know he said that sarcastically, but my question is, do you think this Bad idea would have taken hold if the pandemic did not exist?
Yeah, it would have. Okay. It's a collector industry, but the pandemic gave the collector industry like this major boost. And so it kind of catapulted Bad Idea Comics. I think it inflated the collector's price of some of these issues more than they would have if we had not had the pandemic. But the quality's there, and their hype machine works. So I don't think the pandemic was necessary to make it happen, but it definitely, I hate to say it, helped their cause, you know?
Sure. You know, Kirsten in the chat, she is a social media impresario, and she said the fact that their Instagram is around 2K is wild to her. She said their social presence isn't big, but the folks who follow them are very invested.
Very true. They are very invested. And that's like a quality over quantity kind of thing. It's like you could have maybe millions of fans, but maybe like less than a percentage engagement, or you have 2,000 guys whose eyes are glued to the screen who are waiting with bated breath for everything you're saying. And the hype that you get out of both is very different, you know?
You know, what's interesting to me, and maybe Todd can speak to this before we get off of this whole Bad Idea Comics thing, which is ending as we know it. Why, Todd, just out of curiosity, because you are part of the Hawaii Comic Book Alliance, why can't, and I mean, I'm only asking because I don't know, and I don't want to sound like a jerk or anything, but my question is this a model that, say, a local creators could get behind and really push their comics and their the way they sell comics, and not only help comic books help themselves with their comic book sales, but also help comic book shops just like Alika's? Is that something that is this a model that they could get behind? Or
yeah.
Very
Thanks,
short and sweet.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing about this is they're using a lot of they're consistent. They've got, I don't know. I think that one guy there's only one or maybe three people that write all of the books. Matt Kent writes like 5 or 6 of these books for Bad Idea Comics. Wow. And so I think that like he's kind of part of the brain trust behind the publishing company. And what they're doing is they're creating they're creating a need and an interest, a demand. Even if it's a superficial need or demand, there's and that's something that like people are aware of the comics before they come out, and that's something that's really hard to do in comic books. And then once you release the comics, you want to make sure that you are creating enough for the demand, or vice versa. Don't have too much, You don't want to have any of that on your hands. I think that the problem with local comic book creators would be that we release our stuff inconsistently. And so
Interesting. Okay.
we would
Gotcha.
have to be on a,
Can I
probably a
just,
month.
this is a little off topic, but on the topic of consistent releases for local independent artists and stuff, is like, I know people are eager to get their work out there in some completed form as soon as they have enough pages to do so. I mean, I certainly would be like that too. But, wouldn't you want to just save up like a book's worth, like a compendium or a trade paperback's worth, and then release them one issue at a time, and then you don't have to be on the ground running as you're releasing those because the product's done. So all you're doing is releasing them on a weekly basis, and then the compendium at the end.
That's a good point, because
during that time while you're making money, then you can work on your next book. Like I think that's a solvable problem for local artists if they could manage that.
Because
to get one final product ready. So
right.
And I think you're close to that with Kukui Project almost hitting issue 12. And then, but I know how long that took you to do that. But, imagine you didn't start releasing issue 1 until you had 12 finished. And then maybe that whole year that you had a consistent release schedule, it would solve your release schedule inconsistency problem. And also that whole year would be you just making money while you kind of either brainstormed or worked on the next project.
Originally when I first released issue 1, it was just there were low print runs, and I was always kind of just going to visit conventions and shops, seeing if they're interested in distributing or carrying my work and distributing my comic that way. But I want to make sure that I have like the most solid version of a comic book, and so that's why I've never really approached somebody like Diamond, because Diamond will like independent creators in their catalog, but you had to have at least 3 comic books in the can. And so I think that's always been sort of what is the problem. Now, if somebody wants to shoulder the responsibility of that type of distribution, and for local comic book artists, or in a given region, I know that there's regional comic book distributors that distribute independent comics. That's that's kind of what Bad Idea is doing.
And Todd, that's what I was going to say, is that it seems like Bad Idea is really releasing these at kind of a breakneck pace almost, considering, I mean, that it's been pretty quick. And I mean, they're only small, and like you said, it seems like Matt Kint is the guy who's really, pushing these comics. So I mean, it was crazy to me just to think about it in retrospect, like if Matt Kint's behind all this and these comics are coming so fast and furious, it's crazy. In the chat, Drew in the chat says, that's what I'm sort of doing, shooting for the 44 page count, is what he said. Yeah. Drew also says the big 2 are writing for the trades.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Yeah. So
the TKO is another comic book publisher that releases everything all at once. You get like this. You can do a hardcover. You can do a soft cover. Or you can do the single issues.
New indie distributors with interesting models that also favor comic shops, or at least try to benefit them. They do it a different way. You can have a comic book store you can sponsor them, and if you buy something, then TKO will send a portion of that sale to the comic store. I'm registered on TKO, so if you order from TKO, you can list my store as a beneficiary, and I'll get a portion of that.
Well, that's really sweet.
So, everybody does it with perpetuating the industry in mind. It's not just about getting the books out there, but it's creating community spaces where you can get these books and talk about them and learn about new ones. It's all related. A lot of people talk about each part like they're fragmented and isolated, but they're so interconnected, it's not even funny.
Well, you may have answered this in the chat on the side, so nobody could hear it. But Kirsten in the chat says, "What's the market for floppies these days? It's been a decade since she collected single issues. Is it all serious collectors?" And she says, "I feel like the most casual readers are all trade paperbacks. What say you on that?"
So what I told her is, at my shop, it's really a mix of both. But when it comes to weekly comics, weekly floppy single issue comics, whatever you want to call them, those are majority readers. They're actually mostly readers. And so what we're finding is, I think inflation is catching up with the ridiculous cover prices that Diamond forced on us about a decade ago. Everybody's like, $3 a comic, $4 a comic, cancel that. Now we're in 2021, and that's starting to seem reasonable. And readers are starting to pick up their habits again. There's subs that range from $20 to $100 a week habit. So it's
incredible.
Yeah, and they're, like I said, majority readers. There are guys who are readers and collectors. I mean, if you read long enough, you kind of naturally become a collector just because your collection becomes worth money. So you kind of just roll into it. But then there are the pure collectors, the people, and as far as subscribers go, there's not as much of them as there are readers, at least at my shop.
Kirsten in the chat once again chiming in. I feel like Hawaii isn't the best test market, which it kind of isn't. She's not convinced.
Everything I preface about the comic industry, because people are like, serious industry pros, like, I'm not going to be parroting what they say because my experience is so not what they're going through.
Right.
Like and the other thing is, the mainland's crazy. I don't know if you knew that, but it's like people are mentally insane there, and they don't talk to each other, just push each other around and grunt and stuff. It's not very socially conducive. But here on Maui, we talk with each other, and we're friendly to each other, and we enjoy each other's company. So a comic store is a great community space. If you're a human being, then a comic store could also be a great community space in your area.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Kirsten in the chat says, listening to one of the former members of the NERDWatch, and she's part of Masters of the Obvious. She said, even listening to Cynthia, the mainland is a different planet, which is super true. It's crazy. Anyway,
and I will just mention, while we're bringing up the mainland, so it can be, mainland is colonizer oppressor talk. They're not the mainland of nothing. Hawaii is the mainland. Okay. So I just had to mention that. But it's also the word that everybody uses to describe the contiguous 48 states. So I can't help it because I've done that my entire life. But we shouldn't call the contiguous 40 states the mainland anymore. We should just call that America or whatever. I don't know.
Easy, Kanaka.
All right, come on.
Anyway, so bad idea is not a bad idea is what we've come to. We also realize that bad idea will be a different beast come these last 15 issues. So it'll be a new bad idea that has been that'll be formed. So they're not going away, which is very true. So that's really cool. So bad idea, keeping that model, and 15 comics. You actually have to pre-order 15 comics, Alika. Is that how it works? And
all 15 of the comics that are going to come out for the rest of 2021, you've got to blindly pre-order all of them and commit to buying them all. When
are you going to start that for people that don't?
The event is June 16th. I start taking pre-orders June 16th. Now, here's the thing I have to state, and it's also stated on my Instagram and Facebook. That if you're already subscribed to Bad Idea Comics and you've subscribed to every title, and I have you subscribed, you don't have to do anything to secure the books. You'll automatically get these books, but you're going to want to get in touch with me on June 16th if you want to win one of those stickers to potentially win some riches or prize. I don't know, something.
Maui Comics and Collectibles in the request music in the heart of Wailuku Town. How can they get in contact if they do have any questions, Alika?
I'm active on my Instagram. My phone number, I'm at the shop on shipment days, which this week will be Thursday, next week, Wednesday. I'll be there for the June 16th event. So if you want to call on June 16th, the number is 808-281-0440. That's 808-281-0440. And you could also email me, Maui Comics and Collectibles @gmail.com. No dots or spaces. Or on the Instagram. I'm usually pretty responsive on that. The Facebook messages take me a little while to respond to. Maybe not the best way to get in touch with me.
Sure.
But other than that, in person at the June 16th event is going to be your best bet at getting a sticker. I understand there's people on other islands, so I'm going to give them a chance by contacting me through the phones or email. But yeah, everybody's.
I want a sticker.
I bet you do.
Okay.
I'll blindly sub to any of this.
You're my favorite blind sub ever, Todd.
Well, Kirsten in the
I
chat
can't
is
wait
interesting.
for Tom all over you.
A lot of these howlies in the chat is.
I don't mind if you're a dom because I can't see it.
Kirsten is convinced that Maui's not real. And Ron in the chat, good friend of the show, says he says that he thinks he went to Maui Comic-Con a few years ago, but now he's not really sure. So yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I saw that Filipino Adonis. He is real.
He's a stud.
I was actually temporarily like blinded, and there were like scales growing over my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Ron Cataguy shined like a vision in front of me and cleared my eyes and healed my vision. I could see. After looking at that Filipino Adonis, I could see again.
What you're describing is an Adonis. It's a Jesus. He's a Filipino Jesus.
Speaking of Filipinos, if I
the
may,
abs of Jesus.
I think that Marvel is secretly listening to the NERDWatch, and let me tell you why. Because a few weeks ago, okay?
No, I know what you're going to say.
This guy here was talking about where are my Filipino superheroes at, yo? And guess what? We now have a Filipino Captain America, baby. Woo! So exciting. Come on now, everybody. Come on.
Her name is Ari Agbayani. And she's going to be the next Captain America, apparently, is what they're setting us up for.
Yeah.
But I think you're wrong about them listening to the NERDWatch, by the way.
How dare you?
I think they do.
If you notice, there's like this wave of like Filipino cultures kind of catching on through Joe Coy's comedy. Obviously, he's making people familiar with it, but there's also a few other pretty popular Filipino comedians and comedians. And of course, Mikey Bustos. I don't know how to say his. How do you say his name properly, Greg?
Bustos.
He's hilarious, you know. And Chef Sheldon Simeon, he's Filipino, and he's
not a comedian though.
No, I'm saying cuisine. All aspects of culture, including cuisine, movies, TV shows, are Filipino people are finally getting the representation that they deserve, and I think the culture is catching on, which is a great thing. There's more restaurants in the mainland now, people are saying. So,
can I say something?
Sure.
If that's the case, then why did anyone just walk? Why couldn't they just walk to the person and say, "Hey, is this name good?" Because why did anyone not catch the fact that the name means ball sack?
It doesn't mean ball sack. I saw that. The internet is going to control. No. Agbayani is a real. Are you telling me that the baseball player Benny Agbayani's name was Benny Ballsack? Is that what you're telling me?
If I have an old lady that look at me like I'm a crazy person, then yeah.
All right.
I think that does mean.
That's the name of this podcast, by the way.
Benny Ballsack. The greatest Filipino baseball player to ever live. Benny Ballsack. No, Agbayani's common Filipino surname. Everybody knows this.
I have to agree with Alika on this because Agbayani is pretty, it's pretty common in the Filipino community.
Joel in the chat said he went to college with somebody with the exact same name.
Hey, listen, JJ in the chat is also he's one of my Filipino brethren, and he says Benny Ballsack. That's funny, and he would know. So yeah,
Jay Salmo knows.
Murphy said, "Oh yeah."
Kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Benny Ballsack sounds like a gangster, right?
Yeah,
like a mafia guy.
Agbayani in Ilocano means to be heroic.
Exactly. Ilocano.
Hey, you want that work done? You gotta talk to Benny Ballsack.
You guys are reading Ilocano words in Tagalog, and that's where you're getting all messed up, bro.
Tagalog.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means. At this
So
point.
If that's the case,
I have
in
a
Tagalog,
conversation.
Can you have two Agbayanis? That's what you have to have.
Well, okay. I mean, I only have one ball sack, Greg.
Okay. Oh, okay, that's true. That's true. That is also true.
Are we talking about what's inside the ball sack? I don't know.
Well,
sometimes
as a
people
Filipino,
Filipino
I can't
culture,
share
we're
secrets.
excited. We're super excited for a Pinoy Pride. Let's do that. Great.
JJ, Benny Ballsack, how you doing?
Please stop.
So awesome. Anyway, we are getting a Filipino Captain America, which is super cool.
I think it's a female Captain America too, right?
Yes. That's what we're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then she can't be a ball sack. Then you can't. It doesn't work.
Hey, I think Phormat explained what it means, so I think we're good. Drew in the chat says Tagalog. Isn't that a Girl Scout cookie? Yes, it is, Drew. Yes, it is.
Sorry.
It's the worst Girl Scout cookie.
I'm only Filipino by injection, so I can't. I don't. My pronunciation's not
Wait, whoa, hang on. Did you say you're?
Just breeze by it, G. Don't even.
He got a Filipino vaccination.
Oh God, I don't know what's.
That's fair.
I think I need.
Actually, a good
Right.
name for a new Captain America.
I agree. I'm with Phormat on this. I think the fact that we're getting by the way, Marvel, thanks for listening.
The same word according to the internet in Tagalog or Tagalog as
Tagalog
means like patriotic.
There you go.
To guard.
Okay, cool.
There you go.
So
Benny patriotic.
Benny patriotic.
No. I need to ask some questions too. Then.
But on this show, it's titled Benny Ballsack. So we're going to stick with that. All right. JJ in the chat says is the new Captain America a nurse.
You know what? You guys laugh and you poke fun, but how heroic are nurses right now, right?
Oh, shut up, Alika.
I'm seriously, I'm not being facetious. You guys are just assholes. Nurses are the heroes of the pandemic right now.
Okay, no, we understand that, but Filipino women,
we understand that the 70
goodness.
to 99% of all nurses are Filipino women.
That's why JJ
you want to run with
is
the
a Filipino
stereotype.
man made that joke.
Yes.
Thank you. We are aware. Anyway, Carl asked, will the new Captain America carry a knife too?
Oh, okay, that's pretty racist.
Butterfly knife, of course.
No, I mean her special maneuver is going to be a tea bag.
I heard they're gonna have purple and orange plaid pants.
First of all, she's not going to carry a knife. T-shirt. She's going to be carrying a screamer sticks. Okay, that's what she's going to be carrying. Anyway, all right, and that should. I can't wait to see. I can't wait.
Butterfly knife in her back pocket.
Yeah.
JJ making all the. Bucky will be a chicken. I agree with that. JJ,
they'll call it Manook.
And he'll be voiced by Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk.
Oh, God.
Thank God the Filipinos are my people. So it's pretty good stuff. Anyway, I'm very excited. Anyway, also some exciting news while we move on, because we talked a lot about comic books. It was announced or not announced.
Heaven forbid on a nerd centric show. It
wasn't announced today, but it was there was an image that was released, I believe today.
Is this a Tom Holland and Marky Mark?
No.
Oh,
I'm already out then.
It was released today that a special Batman logo with blood splattered on it, courtesy of the new film that'll be coming out from DC. It was shared with us by Gannon, matter of fact, and it's leading to the fact that this Batman logo was the original Batman logo with Michael Keaton, and that looked really cool. I'm trying to find it.
So 89, but it looks different though.
It does a little bit, doesn't it?
It's actually the 92 armor, because the 89 armor didn't have like the molded chest plate the way that it
was actually posted on Instagram by Andy Muschietti, the man who is going to be the director of it, and I will put this on here as I can for you guys.
It makes total sense that they would go back to the Batman Returns armor too.
Yeah, it's really kind of cool, actually.
It's supposed to happen afterwards.
So it was just one image on Instagram. Let me share this with you guys if you have not seen it. And yeah, let me have you guys take a look at it. It's actually really, really cool. And it was done by Andy Muschietti. If you don't know who Andy Muschietti is the gentleman who is responsible for the two It movies, the It and the sequel. And he also did a movie called Mama. So a very cool logo. And you are right. I mean, at least in my eyes, it does look a little different from the '89 Batman logo, but it is pretty cool. So, and I'm assuming that I'm going to guess that that's Batman's blood, maybe. So it's possible. But yeah,
is
so
that blood? I thought that was like cherry syrup or something.
Unless he was having a shave ice or something. It's possible. But yeah, so very cool logo if you have not seen it yet. And it is a tease of Andy Muschietti actually directing
So what movie is this for?
If I am not mistaken, let me just
this isn't the Raw Batten Bat, right?
Yeah, no, it's not for that actually. It is for the new Flash movie that Andy Muschietti is directing. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's what it's for.
So we're gonna promo the new Flash thing by showing the Batman thing.
Correct.
Man, these guys.
Hey, listen.
Ooh,
that's
they know
what
how
they
to
do.
push the envelope.
Hey, listen. This is what happens. Batman's your guy. Hey, listen. Gannon got excited about it. So
yeah, but he's a Batman fan. I am a Flash fan. Why can't I be excited about the Flash?
Because it's not his time. Apparently, Phormat.
But it's a Flash movie. What is the point?
Because he body slammed somebody into a dumpster. We're not allowed to talk about him anymore.
We're not allowed to talk about him anymore. It's true. It's reported the suit is the same one from Batman Returns in 1992. So if the symbol looks strikingly familiar, that's why. Warner Brothers clearly doesn't throw anything away and has been keeping the thing in cold storage for quite some time. The blood has people theorizing that the aged Batman of Tim Burton's Pocket universe has gone off the deep end and done something that pales in comparison to nearly using a gun in Batman Beyond. So yeah,
people can bleed from batarangs. I don't know why he needs to have a gun.
Well, it's according to this report, a loose adaptation of the Flashpoint story arc. We know based on the words of Muschietti from a long while ago, the Flash will be very different from either the comics plot or that of its animated feature counterpart. Barry Allen running so fast that he defies the linear rules of time and reality is likely to stay unchanged, as is the reason he goes back to save his mom from being killed. So yeah. Nothing like selling a Flash movie with a Batman pick. So there you go. We're gonna. I guess we're gonna see more. I guess we're gonna see the Flash soon. And by the way, do we even know if it's gonna be the Flash from the Justice League, or did they recast that? I'm kind of curious about that myself. So I don't know if they.
Who knows? But I bet we know the Batman stuff.
Hey, he's in there, yo.
Ridiculous.
Hey, it's getting the commoners excited apparently. And by the way, I kind of agree with you, Phormat, because as successful as Wonder Woman was and Aquaman was and Shazam was, and they didn't do any of that crap, I'm surprised that they didn't feature the Flash, which is weird. So I guess they're holding off for some reason. So we'll see. But those were very successful, and they weren't the typical DC Comics movies. So speaking of comics, this weekend is the premiere of Marvel's Loki on Disney Plus. Now, with that in mind, I know that we can't really talk about it much, but we at the Hawaii Film Critics Society have gotten special screeners to watch the first couple of episodes, and I know Phormat had a chance to see it. Now, I know that we can't really review it per se, but we can give thoughts on it, Phormat. So do you have any thoughts on this at all? I mean, we can't give away too much because we don't want to break embargo or anything, but
we can.
What are your thoughts? Yeah, we can't. Yeah, we can't.
Oh.
We can get us in trouble.
Well, episode 1 takes place in the it's fine. I think it's good, but it's like WandaVision good. So I know a lot of people didn't really latch on the WandaVision until like midway through it. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Interesting.
So I have a really, I mean, I kind of doubt anyone's gonna, like, I'm sure people will be excited about it because
Sure.
you know it's Hiddleston and everything, but when they start doing like all the time stuff, like you're people are gonna get lost for sure.
You know what was interesting is that, and this kind of goes along with it, is that there was an announcement today or something. They had said that it was, I guess, I don't know what the context was, but they had made the statement that Loki was gender fluid. But the fact is that Loki's he's not, I don't know if I'd say he's gender fluid. He's a god. He's neither male nor female, right? I mean,
Yeah, he bounces between different sexes all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So
in other words, gender fluid. Like, why are you disputing it? If you're saying
because he's a god. He's not. He doesn't fall under any gender and any gender pronoun. He's a
instead
god.
of having written fluid on the card, they should have wrote God. Like, what are you upset about? I don't.
I'm just saying that we're.
You sound pretty upset, Greg. You sound pretty upset.
Shut up. I
think it's interesting that they point it out. Like they make it a point to point it out.
Yeah, that's what I found weird too. Well, I agree with you.
I don't know if you knew this, but Marvel's a giant corporation, and it's Pride Month.
So they're pandering. Okay,
so they want they want that gay money, bro.
All
right. So where's my snowflake?
Yeah.
And
all right, that's fair. So they're pandering. That's all I needed to know. Okay, that makes sense.
I don't think it's pandering with Loki. I mean, he's obviously been a favorite of the community for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Drew's 100% correct. Sexist species. Loki's a freak.
He is.
I agree with that. He is. Drew has a question.
Turns into a horse for that special loving.
Drew has a question that I'm going to pose to you in the chat. But Phormat, really quick, any other thoughts that you can kind of give us on this without spoiling anything?
The stuff that we had said in previous NERDWatch episodes is kind of on the money as far as what's going on, but there's more to it, of course. The early release that they gave us was only the first 2 episodes, and there's a lot that it lays out. But I almost feel like this is more buddy cop than Falcon and Winter Soldier.
From when does this take place? Can you say that, or can we say that or no?
Yeah, it takes place right after. Okay, so in Endgame, when they go back in time to grab the gems from the timeline, and Loki grabs the Tesseract and disappears. Right there, it takes off right from there.
Wow, super cool. Okay, that's gonna be sweet. Gotcha.
In Norse mythology, Loki changed himself into a female horse. And
I said that.
Oh,
yeah, he did. Did you hear that, Todd?
Yeah, Phormat already alluded to horse genitals.
Well, he's also
Todd, you're done. No horse genitals. Phormat took it from you.
Loki loves the horse. Anyway, Drew has a question for everyone in the chat because, at least not me, because I'm not familiar. Any thoughts on Mexican Namor? Any idea?
I think he's great.
Is he good? All right.
He hasn't been officially announced yet. So
okay.
I thought he was.
No. Yeah, they it was like a leak, and then they announced it. Like they said, yes.
Or was it like the Oscar Isaac Moon Knight thing where everybody knew and then they announced it?
Yeah.
It's
like, here's some news that you guys already know.
Do you think that Namor can fit in this whole cinematic universe? Do you think he has a place?
I think so. I mean, technically, he's the first mutant, right? So,
yeah. I
mean,
that's a good point.
That was published or whatever. So
that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
I would think so.
Yeah. Very, very, very good point. What I find interesting is that kind of wrapping up the Loki conversation. Loki is, it seems to me, from what I've seen from the previews, it seems to me that they're having a lot more, and maybe I'm wrong, Phormat. It seems like they're having a lot more fun with the content with the prior to
with the Loki stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It is hilarious, and I think that might be where the disconnect is for people.
Really?
Because they don't want funny haha. They want the boom boom kablows and all that.
Interesting. But I mean, you know what you're in for because he is a trickster. I mean, when you watch it, right? Am I nuts?
I think the thing that people need to remember is that this is bad Loki before he reconciles with Thor and all that.
Yeah.
Got it.
So he's still trying to like pull a con. You know what I mean?
Right. Makes sense. Now with Loki on the horizon, do we know? I mean, we've gotten a little preview of what's next because after Loki, I think isn't it supposed to be like the what ifs? Isn't it like in like this year after Loki's done?
I think so.
I think so as well.
The what if series.
Yeah, I think the what if series is next, as a matter of fact. But anyway, getting on. I will
say this, though. It seems to me. Because you know how a lot of people were leaning into the Wanda thing with the multiverse of madness with Doctor Strange and all that stuff. I feel like the Loki series is more in tune with the multiverse of madness than the WandaVision stuff.
Got it. And what?
I don't know if that's saying too much, but yeah,
right.
I'll just say that.
I do have a question. Speaking since we're still popping in between comic book properties, what are everyone's thoughts on this? Because I'm very curious. I'm going to put it up on screen. What's everybody's thoughts on the League of Super Pets? There was a trailer that was put out, and it's not even a trailer. It's like 10 seconds of a dog of Crypto walking across the screen. So it's nothing much. So I didn't want to play it, but The Rock is going to be a voice. Kevin Hart's going to be a voice on this thing. I'm assuming this is geared towards the kids, I'm guessing, but anybody have any thoughts on the League of Super Pets?
I like the fact that it's they're aiming for theater release. So they're looking to get kids into the theaters again.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is really cool. It may not get us excited, but I think it'll be good for the kids to maybe latch onto something like that. Carl says Crypto, Streaky, and Comet. Kind of cool. Speaking of theaters, by the way,
I think they're all in there.
Are they?
And Ace as well.
Well, speaking of the Super Pets, I guess we'll watch it. It's DC, right, Todd? We'll see it.
I'm not gonna watch that. I'm not even. I don't even know if I'll probably.
Some fan you are.
I know. I don't even think that I'll probably take the kid to it.
Why? Don't deprive her of that.
She loves animals.
She does, actually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See. Well, listen. I wanted to tell you guys something. I actually did something this past week.
You're coming out for Pride Month?
Hilarious.
No?
I actually ventured into the cinema. I went to go see A Quiet Place Part 2 this week. Wow. This past week. I gotta say, it was uneventful.
Was it quiet?
It was incredibly uneventful because I thought it'd be more exciting, but it seems so dead, man. It is. I don't know. It's dead. But anyway, the experience was interesting. They only have popcorn, soda, and candy now. They don't serve food. That's done. And
did they allow you to eat it in the theater though? I heard you have to get it on the way out.
No, you are allowed to eat in the theater, and that's when you can take your mask off and eat and everything, which is kind of cool.
Greg.
I don't eat popcorn or anything, so I didn't eat anything. But what's interesting is that the way the social gaps work, it's like if you buy a seat, 2 seats over either from your left or your right are completely X'd out, and so it's interesting. And the experience, I mean, I could do without the experience after I've done it. But to be fair, I do have to go see Fast 9, which comes out in the end of this month. So I'll do that. But let me just say this. I think that what's interesting is that getting back to the movie, if you are anywhere interested in seeing, if you ever saw A Quiet Place, do yourself a favor, go see A Quiet Place Part 2. Very well done. It's not as good as the first one. There's a couple of things in there that I didn't like, but overall, good flick. It takes place immediately following the first movie, like literally immediately. So if you are a fan of John Krasinski's work, if you're a fan of Emily Blunt, and if you're more a fan of the two kids that are kind of the leads in this movie, it's great. So I would highly recommend checking it out. A Quiet Place 2, very good flick. I highly, highly recommend it. So I want to make sure to put that out there. I also got a chance, speaking of scary movies, I also had a chance to watch Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It on HBO Max.
How was
So,
it?
Okay.
now, I got to tell you something. I'm a fan of the Conjuring movies. I'm a fan of the Conjuring verse or whatever they call it, right? I like the Annabelle movies. I think they're fun. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. If you are a fan of the Conjuring series, you should definitely see this film. Okay, for sure. It is not as good as the other two movies. Definitely not as good as the second one. It still falls in line with the Conjuring and its themes, but overall, I have to say it's not as good as the other ones for sure. It's definitely a little different. If you have HBO Max, I suggest watching it on HBO Max. Don't venture out into the theater to see it. It's good. It's just not as good as the other two, and definitely not as good as the Annabelle movies. I think the Annabelle movies are highly, highly underrated. So yeah, if you're a fan of horror or anything of the like, go watch The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. The reason why I'm not a big fan is that the story by the end is a little nonsensical in that respect, and I think that you kind of lose the audience at the very end of the film, in my opinion. So make sure if you do check it out. Do it on HBO
When
Max.
does it become nonsensical?
I'm telling you, dude. By the time the climax happens and the big reveal happens or whatever, it's like, what? And that's
it's like having Batman in a Flash movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
It's like having Batman
Sweet.
in a Flash movie. 100%.
I get it now.
I completely agree. So yeah, if you're a fan of that, go check it out. If you like that Conjuring stuff, and that's the big movie for June for HBO Max. That's their next big movie in the theaters as well. So check that out. Yeah, that'll be very cool. I think the next one for HBO Max, I think, is like In the Heights. That's their next big summer movie, and that'll be on HBO
it's
Max.
the Hamiltons, but they're in the streets.
They're taking it to the streets.
Yeah.
Know? Yeah,
it's like Hamilton meets Step Up, and they're
West Side
in
Story.
the streets.
Yeah, in the streets.
And for some reason they're singing about the rent increase. And how come peaches cost so much in the barrio? And yeah.
Hey, look, you said that like a white guy. Barrio? That's very good.
Isn't that how they say it?
That's how you say it, Phormat.
I'm not of the ethnic persuasion, so I don't want to, appropriate or whatever it is.
Good call.
That you guys do.
What about you? I haven't heard much of you from the night.
What about you? What are you appropriating?
Yeah, I mean, other than Polynesian culture in Kukui Project. What? No, I'm just kidding. What have you been up to, Todd? You been watching anything, reading anything that we should know about?
I watched all of Sweet Tooth on Netflix.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up because that's exactly where I was going next. Now,
Nice.
Sweet Tooth, of course, is a DC Vertigo book. It's the brand new series on Netflix. Now, what was your take on Sweet Tooth?
It's excellent. I think that people are really gonna enjoy it. I think that Jupiter's Legacy kind of stumbled the landing a little bit. I don't know. I think some people liked it, some people didn't like it. But I think that
and we should say that I mean, not to interrupt you too much, but we should say that Jupiter's Legacy was canceled after one season. But
right. But they're gonna.
Interestingly enough, they believe in Mark Millar, and they have already greenlighted Super Crooks.
Do they believe in Mark Millar, or they signed a multi-million-dollar, multi-year contract with them?
They're both the same thing, because if you sign a multi-million-dollar contract with them, you have to believe him.
I don't think they believe in Mark Millar as much as they did when they signed that contract.
That wasn't maybe the best translation for Jupiter's Legacy. I remember the book being a lot different. Granted, I only read volume 1, so I would have done a couple more episodes and done bigger reveals towards the end of the series. I think that the spoilers. I think that having the brother be the evil,
spoilers.
Big bad at the end of the series was not actually that big of a deal.
It was so not a big deal.
Yeah.
Can I ask you?
And
this
I
thing?
know twists, so
yeah, you're so.
There was no October faction.
Yeah, you know what? I was like one single pubic hair away from October factioning Jupiter's Legacy while watching it, but the comic series is a little more respected than October faction, so I couldn't go full bore with it, if you know what I'm saying. But I was not impressed with any of Jupiter's Legacy. Not.
Okay, so let me ask you this then.
So watch Sweet Tooth, because Sweet Tooth is the exact opposite.
Me and my kids watched Sweet Tooth together. They loved it. They adored it, and I loved watching it with them. I thought it was a great show. I've never read the comic though. I'm a bad. Don't ask me that question.
So there's 4 trade paperbacks. I've only read the first trade, so I pretty much know about as much as anybody.
You might want this, Todd.
Yeah, I do want that. I want that so hard. I mean, what?
Okay.
Sweet Tooth Compendium.
Would you say, Todd, that Sweet Tooth is the remedy for what Jupiter's Legacy was? I mean, because they're both comic book properties.
Right, but this is a different type of comic book property. I think that people were coming into Jupiter's Legacy thinking that it was going to be another Boys, it was going to be another maybe Invincible. There was going to be kind of a twist on the end. The comic book was, and I think that the comic book was actually pretty well written and pretty well drawn, but something got lost in the mix when they brought it over to Netflix. I don't know if it was just we got to make it and we got to make it quickly, or we got to make it on a budget, or what happened with it.
Sure.
But I think that there was something lost when it moved mediums. But with
I don't think budget was a problem. I think they got plenty of money, and the costume kind of showed that.
I was going to say, because this seemed really high. I mean, highly budgeted. This seemed really like blockbuster movie type effects. I was surprised at the visuals, to be honest.
Wait, Jupiter's Legacy?
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Sweet Tooth?
No, I was talking about Jupiter's Legacy. I don't think that there wasn't very many special effects shots. It was mostly them talking to each other. You didn't get to see, the Utopian fighting in any real super battles or anything. I thought you were talking about Sweet Tooth.
My bad.
No, yeah.
I thought I was impressed with the effects used. I mean, they definitely used CG in some of those fights, many fights actually.
Good point.
Brainwave had a lot of CG that had to be used, and that alien guy that he murdered midway through that was a big story point. By the way, one of the tiredest ass story points ever, is like the debate of whether heroes should kill. That's been covered so many times that Jupiter's Legacy could have done something different, just something different.
Well, when the comic book came out originally, I mean, they were sort of playing, Mark Millar's sort of take on it was like, we're going to play with it, but we're going to play with it generationally.
Sure.
So, we're going to, these are the golden age superheroes, and then these are the modern superheroes. Yeah. We're going to try to figure out a way that, what worked for that era doesn't work anymore, and we're going to play with that a lot. And but for Sweet Tooth, it beautifully shot, beautifully depicted. Everything's gorgeous.
Yep.
You don't look at it and think, oh, that they messed up that.
They take their time with a lot of the shots. The music, the score. And the soundtrack is incredible, very emotionally evocative. They let you kind of sit in a moment. They bring you to these very emotional, and that's the one thing is maybe as the season wears on, you start to catch yourself noticing when they put those emotional moments in your way. and like you start to kind of see a little bit of a formula of it, but it's also just the flavor of the show, kind of like it all works together. It works well.
I can see why. I mean, I can see why the story won a Zurich Award. You know, it is really, really well done.
Hey, Todd, why don't you tell everybody what a Zurich Award is if they're not?
You did it last show.
Yeah, you pretentious prick.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
You know what I like about Sweet Tooth, because I haven't finished it yet, so don't give away too much. What I like, and I've noticed this, is that
wait, gee, I'm gonna spoil it for you.
Shut your mouth.
At the end of the show, Sweet Tooth hugs everybody.
Oh, sweet.
At the end of the show, there's Loki shows up.
What I appreciate lately, and I don't know if it's I like the way the stories are told. I like how like Sweet Tooth is 8 episodes, and they really streamline the story, and they really take what's important and they put it forward. And I like the fact that it's very efficient. They're not stretching anything out. This is the story they're going to tell. If it takes 10 episodes, great. But if it takes 8, that's fine too. I really like that. And Netflix has been pretty good doing that. And so far with Sweet Tooth, I feel the same way. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there's no wasted movement. There's no wasted story. There's no wasted characters. It seems like everything seems to fit. You know what I mean? Like Walking Dead, it's a total waste now. Everything's been stretched out. This doesn't feel that way. So I like that. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I really like that. Go ahead, Todd. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, I'm glad you said that you didn't finish it, because I was going to maybe spoil it for you.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to talk more about the story, but I think that the way that they executed the story was really rich, and I think that there was a lot of really good character development, really good, the show had a lot of heart to it, so.
Wow. Now, do you think, and like I said, don't give anything away, do you think this will be successful enough that we see it continue?
I would think so, because the show sort of ends on a cliffhanger, so it sort of seems like Netflix is probably already given.
Yeah, I mean, exactly like Jupiter's Legacy.
Yes, I was gonna say, just like Jupiter's Legacy. Totally,
they're as safe as Jupiter's Legacy.
Yeah, but Jupiter's Legacy wasn't number 1 all weekend. No, I know. Sweet Tooth is.
No, I can't wait for season 2 of Sweet Tooth, and I really don't foresee them canceling it before that happens.
Yeah. Okay, good. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to hear. To be quite honest, so that makes me happy. Good,
I think you can hear it in the reviews, don't you? Hear
true. I agree.
Glowing.
I'm trying to avoid like spoiler reviews. I'm just trying to stick to what people.
I'll be honest with you. There's nothing much that can be spoiled about it, anyways. The trajectory of the story is what it is. There's nothing too shocking that happens. I mean, like I'm telling you the truth. The series ends by Sweet Tooth hugging everybody, but that's okay. You can believe me when you get there.
Now you've ruined the emotional center of the show.
I also say that just to highlight that it really is just like that's the note they hit, those emotional notes. And if you want a comic show to watch with your kids, this is the perfect one, because it's all about love and care and family and the family you make and all those things.
Wow, fascinating. I was I mean, if you like that kind of stuff, right, Alika? I mean,
if you like that bullshit, right? If you like that kind of bullshit, Greg.
Hey, watch your mouth.
No, I like that bullshit.
Yeah, I think Sweet Tooth. Is highly successful. I'm gonna finish it. Phormat, did you get a chance to see this thing?
Yeah, I finished it.
And what'd you think?
I thought it was interesting what they did with it, because that's not what the comics like.
I've only thumbed through Alika's trade of that when we were at the shop before, when this wasn't even a thing, and it was really interesting. So I thumbed through like the first issue of the trade, and it was kind of cool, and I liked it. So what does it do different than the comic?
Well, okay, so I'll preface this by saying, like, most comic book properties, like, they take whatever the existing book stuff is, and then they're like, we need to go dark and gritty with this when we bring it to live action. This is the complete reversal of that. The comic is very dark. It's very gritty. It's almost heartbreaking, like a lot of the stuff that happens in the comic. And then they completely flipped it around, like in a good way, though. Like this show is really heartwarming, and it's lighthearted. It's a really good show that makes you, like, you know, believe in people again. You know what I mean? The comic is not that. So if you are a fan of the comic, this is not that, but it's almost better because of it, if that makes any sense.
That makes it okay. I see what you're saying. Fascinating. I was gonna say that I was impressed. You know, I didn't. I remember very little of the images in the issue that I had read, but the visuals in the series are just phenomenal. I mean, I think they're really good. So, do you think that you like it enough for a second season?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's good. Sorry, I really wanted Jupiter's Legacy to take off because I know what happens in Jupiter's Circle. Like I missed Legacy when it came out, and Jupiter's Circle is such a better story.
Wow!
And we're probably not going to get it because Legacy is out in the garbage. But yeah, Sweet Tooth is great. I think it's really good what they did. You know, Robert Downey Jr. and his wife, I guess, right?
Susan, yep.
Right. So they're the ones that executive produced this one, and like all the characters fit, like all of the things that they're doing. Like it's a really great story. Like what they've done with it vastly improves what the comic had.
Oh,
so I think it's a really great spin on things, because I totally expected this to be like a dark and gritty thing. You know what I mean? And then, you know, like Alika said, people are hugging each other. And I'm just like, what?
Well,
it's great. It's great the way it's done.
I don't mean to, like, you know, kind of make it sound ridiculous on how lovey-dovey it is, because this, you know, they do go through some really dark subject matter. It happens during and after a global pandemic. A lot of things will hit for, you know, really close to home, but they know this isn't like when Michael Bay did that movie Songbird, and he like punishes us with our reality. This is kind of like he shows us.
I have a feeling that maybe that was the direction, and then because of the pandemic, they were like, "Whoa, we better retool this so it's not slapping people in the face."
Yeah, it's still dark. It still goes to dark places, but the emotional core. Like I said, I watched it with my kids. It's about, like, you know, they talk about genetic engineering of diseases and people and stuff like that. It's dark subject matter, but the way they tell the story is a little lighter. Like
I think the way the show does it, like they touch on the dark subject matter, but they bring it back to light. You know what I mean?
Well,
in the comic, they stick in the dark and they get darker and darker as you go, and it's like
the narrator,
depressing almost.
I think the narrator has a lot to do with it, because it's old, warm, gravelly grandpa voice.
Yeah. That's Brolin.
Oh, the senior Brolin?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
The narration.
James?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
James
Yeah.
is not.
James.
Oh,
James.
I thought
James is the old one, right?
Yeah, James is the dad. James is the dad.
James is the dad.
Josh
is the
Josh is the son. Yeah. Josh Brolin.
Josh is Cable.
He's Bran.
Yeah.
And
He's Bran.
Thanos.
That's right. Come on, Bran. Anyway, so high marks for Sweet Tooth. Take a look at that. Watch it. I do want to say also, as a really quick aside, the Netflix series Ragnarok season 2 is out now. If you don't have an issue with subtitles,
you know what? I actually,
excuse me, it's Norwegian, not Swedish. It's Norwegian. Sorry.
One of those Scandinavian.
It's a Scandinavian, and it's a take on. It's a take on.
They all look the same.
It's a take on Thor. It's a take on.
You know what? You had said that, and I had heard other people say that it was good, but I wasn't really willing to jump into Danish TV or whatever the crap it was. And then my kid like saw the promo image is, the lightning strike. It's pretty dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told him, I was like, we're not going to understand any of it. And he was still into it. He can't read subtitles that well. And the actors that they got to play the parts and, the acting was really good. And the way they ran the story of Ragnarok, of Thor, coming back to Earth, that town, that area.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, as far as that goes, I think you should definitely let your son watch it. You should watch it with him. By the way, the fact that your son can't read subtitles really well, is that a failure of him or is that a failure of his father? Just curiously.
Well, yeah,
he's the comic book pusher amongst all of us.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, he reads comic books. What the?
It's a
well, comics sit still while you're trying to read them. They don't, the subtitles kind of go away too fast. Comics, you can just.
That's why you take the book and you move it really fast in front of their face.
Training.
Go. What were you gonna say, Todd?
Just that that show's really good.
Yeah, I think it's great too. I really like how, and this is gonna sound stupid, but I like how it's really kind of grounded in this reality of.
This does sound stupid.
But I think you catch what I'm saying, right?
No, yeah, of course.
You understand? Yeah,
I'm just giving you crap.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So check out Ragnarok. Season 2 is out now. Very good. So if you can read subtitles better than Alika's son, you should definitely watch this. All right.
Damn.
You should definitely watch it. Anyway,
I can't wait, man. When that kid's like in high school, and G's gonna be like comparing like SAT scores and stuff.
I feel like,
damn, dude.
Before it's almost time for us to get out of here, but before I move on, Phormat, Kai, am I missing anything right now? Is there anything that I missed before we wrap this up? I got Blu-rays.
He never had integrity to begin with.
Oh wow. Thanks, guys. No, am I missing anything? I mean, I know, whatever games or whatever, or any other movie news. Did I happen to skip anything, guys, that you wanted to talk about really quick?
No, not really. I've been playing a lot of Knockout City, which is like Fortnite meets dodgeball.
Yep. Yeah. I downloaded it on my Xbox. Haven't played it yet.
So much fun.
I just looked at it on Steam. I might be playing. Download on my Steam too.
It's free.
It's free. It's free to play. Like you can try it out for free.
Yeah,
I think you can play up to like the first 25 levels for free.
Good. Yeah, it's Knockout City. I haven't tried it yet, but I have downloaded it, so I'm kind of excited to play it.
A lot of my friends have noticed that I've returned to Steam, and so I'm getting gifted games left and right because they all want me to play with them. So,
So what games have you got
cool.
so far?
I don't know because I've been playing a lot of Knockout City.
Okay.
I do know that for those of you that are Fortnite fans, and if you're Fortnite fans, you definitely want to go pick up the Fortnite Breakpoint comics. I think it's Breakpoint, I believe.
0 Point.
0 Point. Thank you. 0 Point. Breakpoint's. Breakpoint. Point Break is one of my favorite Keanu Reeves movies.
Because in the ranking system of great games, Fortnite has 0 points.
Well, just to let you know, Fortnite's new season has also dropped, season 7. So if you are a fan of that as well, Fortnite season 7 has dropped. Since we're talking about gaming really quick. Also, a big piece of gaming news, if you didn't know, and this doesn't make this piece of news made 0 sense to me, and it still does. So maybe someone can explain it here. The God of War sequel has gotten delayed. I didn't think you could have a delay on a sequel if there was no release date announced.
To begin with?
Yeah.
It's
I don't-
called being
how we didn't even know
precautious.
it was in production.
Yeah. So I don't know how that works.
It's
But
in
hey,
I
the
don't
listen,
know
stuff, man.
either.
yeah, it didn't make any
Yeah.
sense to me. Yeah, so I was flabbergasted by that, but yeah, that was some other big news as well. Yeah, if you're a fan of God of War, you have to wait for that. Also, if you're a fan of MMOs, just to let you know that Elder Scrolls has released its brand new Blackwood expansion. If you are a fan of MMORPGs, Elder Scrolls Blackwood is now available today as well. So I started playing it, and I hope it is good. So, and oh, by the way, before I forget too, getting back to Fortnite really quick, Fortnite is releasing a Superman skin, which everybody's talking about. So yeah, there's going to be a huge.
They have skins for days. I mean,
It's true. And guess
The
what?
entire
Who's
game
part of
is skins at this point?
guess who is part of season 7 Fortnite Battle Pass? Rick and Morty.
Dub, baby.
That's right,
Lubba
Rick
lubba
and
dub
Morty,
dub.
baby. Yeah. So yeah. So maybe Todd will get maybe Todd will play some games.
Todd's looking up how to play Fortnite right now.
How to play Fortnite right now, aren't you, Todd?
instead of writing his comic book.
No, I saw.
So
all that.
horny for Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
He's so horny for Rick and Morty. I got you.
I think it's great. I think it. You know what I mean. Fans of the property are always going to flock to it. So
No, I agree 100%. I do agree with
I
you
mean,
100% on that.
as far as skins go, that seems to be like the big thing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we got the old man John McClane in Warzone now.
and old man John Rambo in Warzone now. Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, Rambo's in there.
The two Johnny boys running around the field,
It's true.
grunting
It's so true.
and struggling to get into the vehicles.
It's so freaking true. It's not even funny. You're absolutely right, 100%. So yeah. So other than that, of course, it is the summertime, so that means that we're not going to see a lot of big games coming out for big consoles, with the exception of course, Nintendo. They've got a couple of big games coming out. They do release games in the summertime.
Actually, we're like a few days away from E3 live.
That is true.
Online.
There will be an E3 event, and I'm sure that you guys will be posting about that. You and Phormat. E3 has got some really cool. We'll probably have some really cool announcements. Hopefully.
One thing I want to point out, because every year this comes up, that Nintendo is struggling and whatever. Nintendo is just fine.
Yeah.
Nintendo is staying the course. Their focus has been more on portable gameplay that's fun, and easily accessible.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing absolutely fine.
And with that in mind, there has been leaks and hints that they'll be dropping a new Switch Pro. So at least that's the word on the street. So we can look forward to that as well.
Oh man, Kai! Now he's going to be bothering you about a Switch Pro.
He's like, no, he's going to make a difference.
I just want my PS5, damn it. That's all I want.
Right. I told you, you don't need it. You don't.
I do if I want to review these games. So it's important.
Finish the ones that you have and review those.
Hey, Phormat knows that I've been doing a damn good job of finishing games lately. So
I am proud of you of that. But do you really need a PS5? Why don't you play the ones for your new Xbox and then worry about that?
Well, listen. There are games that I want to play. All right, so
I get it. I want to play a lot of games too, but then
you sound like an old married couple.
Yeah, don't.
I have to deal with this. I have to deal with this monkey.
On my parade, bro. Anyway, before
you
we
guys
get out of here,
start seeing other people.
Yeah, I think we do.
He needs to stop calling my phone every goddamn day.
Whatever. I'm not.
He's sliding into Kai's DMs.
I slide in his DMs all the time.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He texts me, say, "Hey, is it in yet? Is it in yet? Is it in yet?" Oh man!
Whoa! What the hell, dude? What the hell's wrong with you?
God, I wish there was a dirty joke we could make about that.
Yeah, I know. I wish there was as well.
If only.
If only.
Where's Kirsten?
Every single Tuesday, of course, is new releases on Blu-ray. So let's get right to it, shall we? Before we get out of here. Let's get to it. It is the 8th of June, and that means that we have got.
Hold on.
June.
What?
Can I just ask a question? I hope to God that when we were talking about Fortnite, that you highlighted Murphy Milburn's comment?
Which one? Did I miss one?
Buffalo Bill likes skins.
Oh, Buffalo Bill likes skins. Yeah,
that's excellent.
He's excellent.
Excellent.
That's excellent. Absolutely right. Excellent. On Blu-ray today, if you are a fan of movies and Blu-rays and 4Ks, first off, on 4K, I don't know why, but go for it. Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
Hell yeah.
And is on 4K. Also on 4K today is
clean 4K.
Yeah. Also
man, those extra pixels are just
yeah. Hey, it's double the pixels, pal. Double.
It's amazing.
Also on Blu-ray today is the John Hughes flick Some Kind of Wonderful, starring Leah Thompson and Eric Stoltz.
How many pixels are in that one?
That one is also that's 4K, so that's not 4K, so it's 1080p.
That's a lot of pixels.
Also on Blu-ray today, celebrating 35 years, ladies and gentlemen. It's the 35th anniversary of Ferris Bueller's Day Off on Blu-ray. No.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Whoa.
Ferris Bueller's
I thought you were going to say a
Off.
different movie.
No. So that you can check out Ferris Bueller's Day Off 35th anniversary Steelbook edition on Blu-ray as well.
Ferris Bueller.
Also celebrating 35 years is Pretty in Pink. Starring Molly Ringwald, so you can look forward to that as well. That's celebrating.
Are all the John Hughes movies coming up?
Apparently so. That's how old they are. Also on Blu-ray today is a movie that I've been looking forward to called City of Lies, starring Johnny Depp and Forrest Whitaker, about the death of Tupac and Biggie. This movie was supposed to come out several years ago. It got delayed, and finally it's finally being released. So, City of Lies. Apparently, it's a really good performances by all involved. Also on Blu-ray today.
Who's all involved?
That would be Johnny Depp and Forrest Whitaker
all
as the
involved.
leads.
Okay, I was
That's
like,
correct.
all in? Who's all in?
No. Also on Blu-ray today, for those of you that enjoy it, there is a double feature Blu-ray out, and I only know one of the movies on here, and I'm going to mention it's by Mill Creek. It's called it's a double feature, Toy Soldiers and December. I'd get it for Toy Soldiers alone, but I'm not sure what the movie December is. I am unfamiliar, but apparently that came out in the 80s. That stars Balthazar Getty and, of course, Will Wheaton. So I'm not familiar. But yeah, Toy Soldiers is definitely worth it. Also, Like Father, Like Son, starring Dudley Moore and James and Kirk Cameron, is out today as well. And that's out on Blu-ray for the first time, so you can check that out. Also, the latest from that guy, Kumail Nanjiani, his movie Lovebirds is out on Blu-ray today.
Back before he got all jacked.
Yeah, for the Eternals. Yeah, I know, right? That's crazy. And of course, last but not least, and very high on my list, ladies and gentlemen, it is this movie right here. It is Indiana Jones.
Arthur on the Rocks.
Indiana Jones 4 movie collection is out on 4K and digital today.
Why would you buy this though when they have another movie coming?
Let me tell you something. I'm really excited because I did get my copy. They are in 4K and they look spectacular. Special features abound. If you are a fan of Indiana Jones, definitely get this 4 movie collection. It is out on 4K Ultra HD. You cannot lose. It is the movies look spectacular. And Best Buy has an exclusive metal pack, they call it. And of course, the regular edition
metal
is available.
It's not a steelbook.
They call it a metal pack because it's multi-disc, so they don't call it steelbook. It's a blue. It's a Best Buy thing, I guess. So it has all 4 movies: Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The
worst one.
Hey, stop it!
Definitely.
It is underrated. Don't get me started. So check it out. Indiana Jones,
alien glass skulls, and you got mutt. Oh my God, it's the worst movie.
The 4 movie collection is currently available. So get yourself one and bullwhip one into your heart today.
And if you're lucky, an Arthur movie might be in that steel box or whatever.
Probably.
By the way, that's one of the greatest songs by a fantastic artist. What the heck is his name? No. Why am I blanking on his name? Christopher Cross. If you put between the moon and New York City. I love them. I love that song. Anyway, Todd, listen.
The Daft Punk remix better.
Before we get out of here, Todd, I do want to mention that you are in your secret lair. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're a secret.
So now with your secret lair, how close are we to getting another issue of Kukui Project?
Oh,
that looks like a no.
I mean, weeks away, maybe. I mean,
All
maybe
right.
sooner, maybe days. We'll see. It's gonna be soon. It's gonna be so soon.
Fantastic. Well, you listen, Todd. You told us that you got this place so you could concentrate on the things. I hope it's working out because I'm sure there are a lot of people waiting for the next issue of Kukui Project, which I'm pretty sure you've been working very hard on.
I have.
Hell yeah, dude.
I have.
We're all waiting.
Mhm.
All of us.
Mhm.
I've been in this place since the first, and I've never not worked here all day.
Wow.
That's why I'm kind of bleary-eyed right now. I got up about 6:00 this morning
Mm.
to be able to get here super early, and then worked until about lunch, and then and then took a
So you're
short
almost
break.
done.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm drawing as fast as I can. The more I draw, the quicker it seems like I'm getting. Like it feels like, oh, I'm going to get this finished faster than I know. Faster
Right.
than.
Nice.
And so, but I think that that's just an illusion. I think that my brain is just trying to play tricks on me. But yeah, I'm working as diligently as I possibly can. James Silvani and I are both working on books right now, and I'm trying to keep up with his tremendous pace. He's really outshining me, though. So I've thought every day I think I'm going to be surpassing my small mini deadlines, and sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. But yeah, I think that it'll be done really fast, faster than I suspect it will. I mean,
Well, fantastic. Could you keep us up to date?
Yeah, definitely before 2025.
Such a bastard. Gannon is in the chat, unbelievably.
Nice.
He said, "Show us your goobers," whatever that means. And also, he also says, "Toy Soldiers is out on the 29th." It says it's a Mill Creek double feature, so it said that the calendar date was today, and it's Toy Soldiers and December. So I'm not sure. Murphy Milburn in the chat says John Hughes movies were not the best dating educational tools for a young black boy in the 80s. Fair enough. Fair enough, sir.
Now that we've heard from Murphy Brown, what does Murphy Milburn have to say?
Well, Murphy Milburn also says, G-Money, you've been pushing people out in the street all night. I don't understand what that means, but okay.
I agree. I totally agree.
But very excited, Todd, that you have an opportunity to kind of buckle down and concentrate and have your own place to do this and get this done, which is fantastic for you. So keep us up to date on that, and also
I like
keep us
that.
up
It
to
sounds like you've buried yourself in a bunker,
like a bomb shelter.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. It's pretty
sweet.
sweet.
The rest of us will die from the radioactive fallout, but at least you'll get your book done. Thanks, bud.
Or a virus.
It is. I mean, it's a. It doesn't have any windows in here, and it's not.
AC,
I can
though.
tell because the sound is like echoing.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, sorry.
But here's the thing.
You need to put some milk crates on the walls or something.
Here's the thing. Next week on the program, of course, we will have our first episode review of Loki because it comes out this Friday. So be prepared for that. We'll kind of get into what exactly the first episode was all about. I think I could be wrong, but I think they're releasing both episode 1 and 2 this Friday, but I could be wrong about that. I think that's how
God, I hope so.
Yeah, so it would make sense.
Is there any way Todd could give us a tour of the new establishment? Like maybe in the next show or something? Just take the webcam around.
It's embedded in the desktop. I can't take it off.
So you'll actually have to carry the monitor around. Nice. Yeah, Murphy, so if you could do that next week, that would be great.
Murphy in the chat says he'll still be working on it after the bomb dropped. That's fair. Hey, listen, what we do here at the NERDWatch is try and keep Todd motivated. He's such a talented artist and writer that I think people are very excited to see his other content.
I'm glad Gannon and Alika aren't here to weigh in on your sterling opinion of me.
First of all, they would never crap on your talent.
Well, I mean, only to my face.
Only to your face. That's fair. Anyway, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here tonight. We are joined by Mrs. Maui Comics, who's here as well. Alika's lovely wife, Ashley. Thank you for joining us, Ashley. Appreciate it. Now I know where Benji gets it from. That's it. There it is. That's how Benji gets it.
Oh, Lord.
That's exactly right. Well, anyway, we if you guys could see what we're seeing, it would be
that is a very Benji thing to do.
That is a very Benji thing to do. Murphy in the chat says Alika looks better.
Wow.
I agree 100%. 100%. I agree. Now she's mocking him. There you go.
Right.
All right. Listen. I'm gonna keep
diamond.
Blah, yeah. Diamond sucks. Okay. I won't say anything. I promise. I won't say anything. All right. Listen. It's time for us to get out of here. You guys have a lovely week. We'll see you back here, same nerd time, same nerd channel next week, Tuesday night. I hope you guys had a good time. We love you all very much. So big thank you to, of course, Murphy and Kirsten and Gannon and Carl and of course all the guys that were watching us on Twitch, and of course Alika's lovely wife Ashley and Drew. Of course, big shout out to Drew as well for being on the show. Drew and our good friend Alika's JJ and Ron Cataguy. Yes, Drew is Alika's lovely wife. But we are out of time. Have a lovely week, and we'll see you guys back here next week. You're not going to want to miss it. So for our good friends at Maui no, I got it. Let me do this one more time. For our good friends at Maui Comics, Todd Bernardi, Phormat, and our good friend, the producer, seducer, Kai. I, of course, am G Money. Peace out. Much love, and most assuredly, always stay nerdy. And we'll see you back here next week on the Nerd Watch. Aloha.